Hey guys, what's up? Here's a short little game in the, well, it's not short, we go into an end game, in the Diemer-Duhm gambit. So I just thought I'd bring you up to date on, or keep you guys informed of how that's going. So it comes from the French defence. You play d4, they play d5. This position has been reached a gazillion times. And the Diemer-Duhm gambit, which the computer despises, continues with pawn to c4. Clearly, black is not going to take here. He's not going to take away from the centre and give you the whole centre. So it's a bit like a queen's gambit, with the addition of these two pawns have also been played. So by far the most common move here is DE. D takes e4. And then, again, we're going to upset the computer still further by pushing the d pawn forward, but the point is there's a trap in all of this. So the idea is that they will take, you will take. Okay, which is what happens. Now the queen's attacking this pawn, but it's also defended. So again, what's black going to do? Nearly always, or very, very commonly, they will play the knight out here. But in this game, we have a variation. I think this is new to me. I've only played this less than half a dozen times anyway. So bishop c5. Looking down at the f2 pawn. So in the game, I play knight c3. This is just a 5-minute blitz. I literally just played. Opponents rated 1593 at the start of the game. Okay, I play my knight out. So I'm double defending the d pawn. I'm attacking once their e pawn. So potentially freeing the queen up from her duties there. Now they try this kind of scholars may kind of attack by bringing the queen out there. Obviously, it's slightly in the way of the knight, but it does pose me with a challenge because I have to defend f2. Currently, it's defended only by the king himself. Now, knight h3 defends f2, but then black can simply eliminate the knight and screw up my pawns properly, and that's going to be horrendous. So that's not an option. I guess bishop e3 is playable if bishop takes, f takes e, and that's okay. In the game, I found this move, which I don't think is probably the best. I thought it was very clever at the time, because I'm hitting the queen, I'm hitting the bishop, and I'm defending the f-pawn at the same time. And I've won a pawn. Happy days. But now what black does is move the queen to e5 and then pin my knight. So I can't take the bishop at all, because I'm in an absolute pin on the king. It would be illegal. Plus my knight is under attack, plus my knight is not defended. Okay, so what does the computer say here? Queen e2. I don't play that. I play queen d3, which appears to be a blunder. Queen e2 was the way, actually giving up this pawn. So currently I'm defending the pawn and the knight. But f5 now would simply win the knight. Because it's pinned, in an absolute pin. If you can attack a piece that's in a pin, ideally with a pawn, then you very, very often win material. So he doesn't do that. Black plays the knight out to here, which is not so good. I play f3, which is really the only move there. Defending the knight once more. So it's under attack twice, and it's defended twice. Black castles. And again, not a great move. Bishop to e2. Actually breaking the pin on the knight, so in theory I could just take this knight now. And they play bishop to e1 check. Computer says bishop d2. I don't play that. I actually move my knight, which I guess is kind of unnecessary. I should have developed the piece, would be better. Okay, and now their knight grabs a pawn here. And again, the computer really prefers black here. So I guess I can trade knights. No, I can't, because this knight is still in the pin. Okay, so now bishop d2 is the best move. Again, poor move from me. Kicking the bishop. Bishop takes. I take. Black is still completely winning here. And he's castled, which is good. So now they should play knight c6 is the best move. They don't. They grab the pawn. Now, this is a blunder. This is a blunder from black. Now, why? That's the question. Yeah, we've been looking at pins quite a bit in this game. Now, this bishop's pinned, right? But the reason is, yeah, he's grabbed a pawn. Yes, the knight's defended, but do not stop thinking there. That's the point. Okay, the knight and the queen are in line, as is f7. So bishop b2 now, and suddenly there's a new pin in town. And now it's the knight that's pinned. Not only is it pinned, it's under attack 2 times. So this knight is going to fall. This does something, but in fact, I guess I could have just captured with the queen. But I calculated this. I figured I can take the knight. If they take, I take queen. So I'm up a piece anyway, whatever happens. Okay, so this is what we do. Now, their bishop is on prise, and also there's a hanging pawn on c7. We trade. Now I recapture with the knight, obviously, because this then gives me the opportunity to castle. Not so much a question of getting my king safe at this point, because my opponent's really only got 3 pieces, and none of them are really active yet. But it's more about getting this rook into play. So they push the pawn to defend, I castle. And now, again, this looks like a pin. Looks like another pin. I mean, 2 pieces of equal value. Is there a cross between a pin and a skewer? I don't know. Answers on a postcard. So now, I could here push f4. Okay, but again, we have the same problem. Notice the bishop is undefended and the knight is undefended. But if I push f4, again, it's the pushing the pawn to attack a pinned piece, right? And it is a pin because the bishop can't move without the loss of material. That's the point. So the bishop is pinned. Bishop is also undefended. So defending here wouldn't work because he can attack it with a lower value piece, i.e. a pawn. If the bishop moves, the knight falls. Right. So we can't do that. So there's only one option, one good option here, which is the trade. So we trade off for the knight. They grab. So basically, black here has a choice between having a bishop or having a knight. In a position like this, I would always eliminate the bishop. And the reason is because we're in an endgame, right? Look at these pawns. Okay. There are pawns on both sides of the board. Now, when you get down to an endgame, let's imagine that all the rooks were traded off. Okay. And your opponent, let's say you're black, there's no rooks on the board. They are left either with a bishop or with a knight. Okay, now, has to be said, black has a 2-pawn majority on the queen side, okay? But the point is, a bishop can leap in a single bound the full width of the board, right? So it can defend promotion squares, it can come back, it can attack, it can cover both sides of the board. For a knight to get across the board is 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 jumps. That's the difference. So black here, I think, yeah, the computer says rook takes e2, 0.2 of a pawn better. Now knights are useful as well in endgames, don't get me wrong. But that was slightly inaccurate. Okay, so I save the bishop. Rook comes across now. Now I want to trade off rooks. Why? Because I want to leave myself with the only high-speed long-range piece on the board, which is the bishop. If I can trade all the rooks off, I am confident that this is a 1 endgame. Rook comes down, no bother, I just trade off. King f1. Hoping that's the best move. Actually, it's saying rook d1 is best, threatening a back rank mate. Actually, that's a really good idea. Yeah, because then he has to pretty much move his king in, I think. The next one is rook b1, threatening this pawn. And then king f1. But there's half a pawn between them all, okay. So his rook comes here now, defending b7. I come up with my bishop, tickling this pawn. Not really a full-throated attack, that one. It's not exactly, you don't need to be Magnus to get out of that attack. So they push a6, a5 is slightly more accurate. I push a4 now. So my idea here is really to jam this pawn in here. And also, when you're thinking, these pawns are all on light squares, but my bishop, say from here, it's preventing one pawn from moving, and it's covering both of the others. So their rook would have to be on the 5th rank in order to compete there. I come back here, which is maybe not ideal. Their king comes out. I push a5. Now, this idea is now really stuck in my head. King comes in, no bother, and I stick my bishop there on b6, and now white is winning at this point. Rook d2, rook e1. Now I'm kind of conscious that I'd like to get my king up the board, but I couldn't figure out how for the moment, so I push h4, meeting these pawns on the battlefield. Now rook e2, so I'm saying to black here, look, you can come down and check me, but lo and behold, my king has then escaped off the back rank. Or we can trade, and he trades, which I think is inaccurate. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that. He should have gone back up the d file. So now, yeah, +3 now for white. And I push the king up. I want to meet the king halfway. They push a pawn, and g4. Right, and this is, again, a very instructive endgame. So we have 3 on 3 on the king side. My bishop has technically got a lockdown on the queen side, yet the c pawn is able to move. This pawn can't move and this pawn can't move, but this guy is able to move. So what I need to figure out now is, I've got 3 on 3 plus my king is there on the king side, right? What I need to calculate is, can I, A, on the king side of the board, can I force a passed pawn? And then B, on the queen side of the board, over here, can I stop Black Charlie? Okay, and I figure I can, because in 5 jumps, Charlie can get to c1 and promote. However, in 1, bang, bishop e3, defended by the king potentially, right? And covering the promotion square. So I can wait until the last moment and then spank there, right? Boom. So then the question is, all right, king side, can I force these pawns through? And you need to learn, you need to know some pawn kind of construction patterns for the endgame. Can you get a passed pawn? Okay, well they take here. It's not the best idea. It says I've disconnected, whatever. I recapture, and now 2 on 2. Okay. So what's the situation? Well, when you've got this like this, right, I can push h5. He has 2 options. If he takes, then it's gh, and this pawn is a passed pawn, which means there's no pawn on any adjacent file that can capture it. The only, the pawn on the f file obviously can't touch it. So here, if he takes, he's lost. Here, if he pushes, yeah, it's with check. I'll just push, but then Harry is on his merry way. He'll go up and promote, yeah? So he starts to run with Charlie. Not going to work. h5, takes, and he's lost. Yeah, he's basically lost. And resigns here, okay? So, yeah, interesting line in the Diemer-Duhm. Let's go back and see what should happen in this case. Apparently good for black, this line. The best moves are bishop e7 here, then bishop d6, and then knight f6 are the best lines for black. So this is not the most accurate, but knight c3 is best here. They should reply with knight f6. Now with queen out here, not great. Oh, that's what I missed. There we go. Queen a4 check. Check and a fork on the pawn here. Right, that one is going in a study. Okay, but there you go. Yeah, and that's all I need to take away from that game, really, is how to deal with this situation if I see it again. So, yeah, it's going to go in my Diemer-Duhm study, and it's going to go probably in my queen forks medium, maybe, study for the Chess Bootcamp guys. So, there you go. Hope that's been useful. Thanks for watching. See you later.